Good morning, and welcome to the People Pleaser Support Group, where we hold space for each other's healing journey in a way that honors your lived experience and encourages your recovery. My name is Tina Rose, and I am a recovering people pleaser. I have been summoned to change the trajectory of your life by coming on every day to YouTube and telling stories about my lived experience and my healing um, journey, the specific details about it, and the sensations I feel, the fears, the releases, all the good and the not so easy things about my healing journey, which in a lot of ways is a mirror for your healing journey. And you are here, you are seeing this because you are a people pleaser, and that's not a negative thing. That is something that you did as a strategy to survive as a young child. It's developed conditioning, developed communication styles from your childhood trauma and all the conditioning around that, ways that you had to hold everything together, all the people, everything in your environment. It was made your responsibility before it was time, before you realized and were old enough to understand that it's not healthy, it's not good for you to take care of other people's feelings and be responsible to hold everything together as far as everybody's feelings around you. The only one you are here to please in this lifetime as a human on earth is you. Today, in my devotional studies, I was brought to information, mind blowing. It's just so profound how everything fits together. And I am not going to speak about it the way I read it. Is so the wording is so eloquent, and just the way it flows through the information. I have to speak it in my own words, so it's not going to sound like what I read exactly, but I am depending on my higher consciousness to bring through, and I'm allowing and trusting to bring through this information in a way that helps you, in a way that you can resonate with, because I feel, and what I'm getting right now to share is that a lot of times when you get this big, eloquent information, maybe channeled information from the Ascended Masters and whatnot, I mean, it's perfect, of course. It's divinely right timing, divinely worded. But in a lot of ways, I found it kind of abstract, right? Okay, you know, you're saying magnetize the universal energy, but what does that look like in practical terms? What does that feel like in practical terms? And so as I went through my healing journey and I kept asking for clarity on things like that, I talk about how I equated those big, profound pieces of information, how I equate it to practical everyday life experiences. And today is going to be around that in between zone of healing where you've done a lot of work, and you know now it resonates with you deeply that your old way doesn't work. And you've built trust, and there's this space. I'll call it the field of repair, the space that you have created after long periods of early healing, clarity, healing, um, yeah, your trust, and the old way, you know, and you feel the old way, the old patterns of behaving, the old communication styles no longer work, but you don't yet know exactly the new ways, the new communication, the way the wording is going to happen or needs to happen. That communication style and way of being and new pattern has not been stabilized, practiced, and stabilized yet. That repair field is where the trust happens, is where you have developed the trust, the knowing of what no longer works and what has yet to be stabilized and is unknown. So, what I am getting is actually a piece of what I talked about yesterday, right here. That field of repair for me was after I did a lot of healing before and during A Course in Miracles. I did the 365-day lessons from A Course in Miracles. And after I did that, and before I started the 2-year period, before I started that new job, that was actually an initiation to put into practice what I had learned, and where a lot of the healing of old patterns happened. That is the repair field. My mind was clarified at that point after I finished the earlier healing and the ASIM, A Course in Miracles lessons. My mind had been clarified, and I had built my trust. Before that, I had zero, zero trust in myself, and I had lost all hope in all people, including myself. So after A Course in Miracles lessons and all the healing I did before that to get ready for A Course in Miracles, I had enough trust and understanding about what was real and what was not real that I was able, it took me 2 years in that um, period to build that trust, to get to the point where I was ready to now heal those places within me by going through the initiations that I needed to go through in real life, human life, to experience the other side of that healing. And talking about this field of repair, like a holding space that it's like a space that you have developed that allows you to trust a new perception. And this new perception, um, and the trust around it is where you have brought down, chiseled down a big part of the wall around your safety, around your nervous system. So, part of that field of repair is where you have brought a big part of your nervous system back into balance. Not all of it, but a little bit of it. And it allows you to trust in your capacity to face the truth of an old perception. And now you want to move into the new perception. That's what today's energy healing is going to be around, helping you build your field of repair. And some of you might already have began to develop this field of repair, or maybe you're further advanced, but this energy transmission will further help even for the more advanced people, because I feel like healing isn't a once and done. I mean, it is an ongoing process. It's like many, many layers of an onion that have to be peeled back. That was the example that Jesus gave me one time about the healing process and what I needed to go through. You peel a layer, you work on it and you heal it for a while. You peel another layer, you work on it and heal it for a while. So today's energy transmission is here to help you establish a field of repair or build on it. So get into your comfortable position. Say, I am ready to receive. And the energy healing begins now. Take a few rounds of deep inhales and long exhales. Filling the lungs fully and completely, all the way up to your collarbones, and pause at the top. Exhale long and slow. Another few rounds just like that. As I move into calling in the energies of the divine to help give us what we need today. Continue in our healing process with whatever we need, because it is ever changing and continues. I have every right, and you can repeat after me, to have a sense of belonging without having to abandon myself. I have every right to exist just as I am right now. There is no more need for me to pretend by choosing what others want to hear. I am safe to choose what I truly feel. I choose to create this new space, this field of repair, by learning to love myself, by learning I deserve to love myself. I choose to go into my next learning experience as my authentic self, choosing the new ways to respond, choosing to learn a new communication style that will help me. I just got the chills. Develop and grow and expand into my true self. This is everything. This is everything to me. Being authentic, choosing to say how I feel, choosing to respond based on my feelings, choosing to take action on what I want to take action on. Every time I feel anxious, I know I am safe to stop and breathe before I respond. And each time I do this, I heal and grow and expand a little bit more into the knowing and certainty that I am truly safe, knowing I am loved in a world where I am completely safe. With that, we come to the end of this energy transmission. And there is so much love for you here, bringing me to tears. Blessed be, my friends.